Like it or not, folks, AI is here and it's here to stay. I'm Dean Mercado from Online Marketing Muscle, and I've been doing a lot of talking and presenting as of late about AI. And in most situations, it was more to do with Gen AI or generative AI. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about, as we bring in this next evolution, Agentic AI. Agentic AI, or for the common man out there like me, AI agents, right? And we're going to get a little bit into the top 10 reasons or the top 10 ways of knowing that you are ready for agentic AI in your business. So before we dive in, let me just preface a little bit with a major distinction between Gen AI and agentic AI. Now, the way I liken it, the way I look at it is basically, I want you to think of Gen AI as being more of a starter. It's more of a creator, right? And agentic AI is more of a finisher, right? It's more of a person who executes, or a thing that executes on your behalf. So the one thing that I love Gen AI and I love everything that it's done for me and my business and my clients and so on and so forth. But the reality is it ends up creating more work for me. So even if I'm helping it or using it to help me ideate a concept for an article I'm going to write or a presentation I'm going to build or whatever, it might give me ideas, but eventually I have to do it, right? So pairing Gen AI with automation with tools like Keep has been wonderful for me, right? Now, the next level, the next iteration, the evolving of AI, and the evolving is happening quickly, folks. This is not something that it's like, oh, well, this is brand new. No, it's evolving quickly. Pay attention to what's going on. Agentic AI is kind of like Terminator to some degree, the movie Terminator, where it's like these things, I want you to think of automation and the concept of automation. Agentic AI has the ability to do things on your behalf. So it's like giving it a workflow and letting it run with that, giving it a goal and setting it off on its way. So basically, where in Gen AI, I needed some sort of a prompt to prompt the Gen AI to do what I wanted to do. With Agentic AI, it's a little different. It's more like I'm providing it a goal and giving it the connectivity it needs, and it goes out and connects with this, connects with that, does everything that's needed to get a particular job done. Now, is it perfect at this point? No, not even close. If you're thinking that I'm going to sit here and tell you that, like some other videos I see out there saying, oh, I'm making $20 billion a minute with agentic AI. No, I'm not going to tell you that. Let's be real about it here, folks. There are going to be real practical uses for a tool like Agent or a technology like Agentic AI. And there's going to be, things that you're just not going to want to do with it, right? At least not at this point. Now, with the speed that it's evolving, 2 weeks from now may be different. A year from now, it definitely will be different. But, here's what I'm going to give you here today is going to be 10 ways you're going to know if it's time for you to start thinking about it. And we'll start with number 10, right? Number 10. And this one is about if you're buried in repeatable, forgettable tasks, then you're a perfect candidate for agentic AI. If you're constantly looking at a to-do list or a checklist of some sort for yourself, definitely you're a perfect candidate for agentic AI, right? Now, number 9 that I'll give you, right? You've used AI, Gen AI, that is, like most of us have. But as I was mentioning earlier, it kind of just gave you more things to do, right? So even if you're going as far as having it write an article for you, who's going to post it, right? Who's going to SEO it? Who's going to do all the other things to make that article viable and useful for your business? Chances are you, right? That's not what we ultimately want to have happen at some point. Agentic AI, you're a good candidate for it if you find yourself where Gen AI just isn't enough. You don't need any more work to do, right? Number 8 on our list here. If you're still the follow-up system in your business, then you're a perfect candidate for agentic AI. So if everything has to pass through your hands, has to pass through your head, not a good thing, not a good sign for your business. At some point, you're not going to be able to scale. You might be able to get some incremental growth in there, but you will always be a problem to your business. So that was number 8. Number 7, as we continue down our list, if you're the glue that holds everything together, you're a perfect candidate for agentic AI, right? If you find yourself being the only one who knows how to do certain things, if you find yourself in that position where you're the go-to girl or the go-to guy, whatever that looks like, that's a problem. And in my company, we have a methodology we call Clone the Owner. And that's aimed exactly at that. It's about taking the genius out of you, the owner's head, and using technologies like automation and AI to do those things on your behalf, the way you would do them, when you would do them, how you would do them, and so on and so forth, right? Now, number 6, as we continue down our list, you've tried different automation tools, maybe like Keep, maybe Go High Level, whatever those might be. And you ran for the hills. Bottom line, it was technical. It gets very technical when you're dealing with automation. And I'm always the first one screaming from the rooftop saying, you probably should not be the one doing it, right? You should have somebody around you who can do that on your behalf. Somebody who could do it better, faster, cheaper, better, faster, cheaper. It's always the way it should be with a lot of these things. One of the problems about us as business owners, small business owners per se, is we tend to be the one who feels like we have to do it all. No, that's not the case. Talk about not being able to scale. You'll never be able to scale at that rate. If you've tried other tools and they scared you away, understand you don't need to be scared, right? The AI agents that are coming down the pipe are starting to communicate in English a little bit more and more and more every day. So those tools are getting better and better by the minute. And I mean that seriously, by the minute, as those tools continue to be updated and evolving. So pretty powerful stuff. That should not scare you away from automation either. Some of the best companies I've seen out there are the ones that realize that they probably should be adding somebody like that to their team, whether it be a W-2 hire, whether it be a 1099, or whether it be just a consultant that you work with regularly, right? You should always be thinking about, who do I have on my team that can help me get where I want to go better, faster, cheaper. So that was number 6. Number 5 I'm going to give you is, if you find yourself in a situation where you want help, but you kind of don't want to manage any more people, right? People bring problems. I'm sorry to say that. They just do. The headaches don't begin until the people enter the picture. Once the people enter the picture, problems begin. Now, I'm a people person. I love people. I love having a team, right? So I'm not telling you don't have that, right? What I'm telling you, though, is that if you use our Clone the Owner concept a little bit here, you can take that wisdom out of your brain and you could apply it to your business. So things are getting done on your behalf, how you would do it, when you would do it, why you would do it, and all of that, so on and so forth. So number 4 that I'm going to give you, this will tell you if you're a good candidate for AI agents, right? If you find yourself answering the same 5 questions, the same handful of questions every day, how much does it cost? How do we get started? What areas do you service? Whatever that may be, if you find yourself answering those questions and you've tried putting FAQs on your website before, and you've tried many different things to try and communicate answers to those questions before people ask them, an AI agent may be a perfect fit for you, as you can use that to automate some of that process on your behalf. And it would, hopefully, if it's set up correctly, it will reply in the way you want it. You would want to reply if you were the one doing it yourself, right? So you can always make it so that it's powerful and it carries the right energy forward. So getting down to the final 3 here. Number 3, you have systems, but most of them are living in your head, right? Now, That's not scalable. That's stressful, right? If the process usually starts with something like, well, usually no, that's not a system, right? Agentic AI, if you're ever going to go there, needs playbooks. When I talk a lot about GenAI, I'm always talking about playbooks, right? When I talk about automation, I'm always talking about playbooks because you can't automate a moving target. You need to make sure that your playbook is established. And even if that means sitting down with a pen and a napkin and writing it down on the back of a napkin, I don't care. Bottom line is you've got to get it down out of your head and onto something so that you can then automate, right? Whether you're using a tool like Keep or whether you're using Agentic AI or whatever. I mean, there are lots of tools out there that can help you. Zapier is one we use a lot for automation. So there are lots of tools that you can use. Make is another one. Tons available to you out there right now. So, number 2, you find that you've hit a wall when it comes to growth, that is, right? You really want to scale, and scaling, remember, is this. It's exponential, right? Growing is this, incremental. So when I talk scale, I'm talking this. You're hitting a wall, though, right? And you find that you're hitting a wall and you really want more. You want more out of this business. We didn't create a business to struggle, right? That's not what it's about. So if you find that that's the situation for you, remember that you may be a great candidate for Agentic AI and you really should be exploring how can that help me? And maybe conversations like that are future videos I'll shoot for you. But for now, understand, and our purpose here today is to help you understand, should you be looking at this right now? Now, we're coming down to the final one, right? And this one's a harsh reality truth for many. It is and has been for me on a number of occasions throughout my business career. And I've been around quite a few times, as you could see, a little bit of gray in there. And, bottom line, I've been around. And bottom line, if you find that you are the bottleneck of your company, you're the one holding it back, you're the one slowing its pace down, you're the one stopping it from scaling, right? And you know it, then yes, you are a perfect candidate for Agentic AI. Now, you built something great, most likely at this point, right? We don't want to automate chaos. So I'm assuming you've built something great. You've got it documented properly, but you're only one person. And if everything needs to filter through you and so on and so forth and pass its way through you, and you're the only one who knows how to do this particular thing, you've got to start looking forward. My opinion. Now, I've been coaching for several decades now. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of business owners, some really, really smart ones. I've learned as much from them as they've learned from me. I could tell you that truthfully. Bottom line is, Agentic AI is not going to be the savior here. It's not going to save you from yourself. You've got to come to that realization, right? Because the first observation and realization you need to come to is that you're the bottleneck. Once you come to that clarity, then it's easy to get past it. There are lots of different ways, right? So, this is the owner this is the moment rather where clone the owner comes into the picture, or you could just continue to burn out the owner, right? And that's not a good place to be. So, long story short, Gen AI is kind of like the starting point. Agentic AI is the finishing point. Now, since Agentic AI is not perfect, hopefully by now, though, you've figured out whether or not it makes sense for you. But we know it's not perfect, but it's evolving exponentially every single day. It's not a matter of whether or not this happens in business. It's here, folks. It's right now, right? You needed to be thinking about this yesterday, yes, right? I've said it in public numerous times, whether on stage or whether on video or wherever I am. It is now 2025 at the point of this recording here. Within 2 years, business is going to be vastly different. How you do most of the things you do. I mean, I think back just 6 months ago, how much more I use Gen AI in my business now. It's become so integral to so many different aspects of my own business. I wouldn't even have imagined it 2 years ago, right? Oh yeah, this is a cool thing coming in. It's called AI. And in the beginning, we weren't even calling it Gen AI, right? But bottom line, once it infiltrated, and it did fast, very quickly. I say that AI is the biggest disruptor, business disruptor in my lifetime. I'm not joking about that. I'm dead serious. And I've experienced the onset of the PC, the onset of the internet, smartphones, social media. I've seen a lot, in my 57 years. Yeah, there I go. I revealed it. I've seen a lot, right? So this is the biggest business disruptor. 5 years from now, business will be almost unrecognizable with how we go about doing things. Yeah, we might provide a similar service, but the way we go about almost everything in our business is going to be different. The tool sets will vastly change. Many tools are going to go away because you'll be able to use tools like Agentic AI to do a lot for you. Now, again, is it necessary for you to be using this? Oh, you could still get away with trying to be nostalgic and doing it the old-fashioned way. You can. But my gut is telling me time is limiting there. And if you're a business owner that truly wants to do your business a service, then you need to be thinking about what's next. How do I navigate this? How do I move forward with my business? So hopefully, listening to these 10 thoughts I had on whether or not you're ripe for the picking right now for using Agentic AI, most likely you've resonated with at least one of those. My guess is you probably resonated with all 10. I know I still do, and I use this stuff. So, hopefully this will shed a little bit of light, right? Clearly, if you need help, my company, Online Marketing Muscle, may be somebody to reach out to. No harm, no foul. We'll never pressure you into doing anything that doesn't fit, bottom line. But as a coach, if I throw my coach hat on for the moment, you can't ignore this anymore, folks. It's not an option. So I hope you heed my call today. I hope you put some thought into what I've brought to the table here today. If you would, please like and subscribe this video if you resonate at all. Even if you don't, I want to know how you feel about this. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about this topic, this concept, right? As well as what else do you need to know so that you could get moving with this? Because again, this is not a matter of nice to have anymore. This is game changer for business, right? And as a coach, I'm constantly always looking to bring forward to my clients what's going to make the difference, right? This will make things better, faster, cheaper if you learn how to leverage it. And leverage is the key word here. My Clone the Owner methodology is all about leverage, right? We've got a new ebook, by the way, that's going out, our Clone the Owner methodology. It's on my website, onlinemarketingmuscle.com. You should grab it. You should grab it and read through that, because that will help you also understand what I'm talking about when I'm saying cloning yourself. I'm not talking about a biological lab somewhere. I'm talking about, once again, taking your genius and bringing it to the forefront. So, all of that being said, right? I wish you well in this journey. I hope you see your way towards leveraging Gen AI and then Agentic AI in particular in this case, because it will be a game changer for everybody's business. And it's no longer a nice to have, it's a need to have. So for me, Dean Mercado, my company, Online Marketing Muscle, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. And here's to your success. Be well.